Combat power is usually a measure of how strong your character is, or that's what we at least think. Usually, what really matters is your build, what kind of rune synergy you have, what kind of traits you have. But in the game, when people are recruiting or doing pug recruiting, they usually set a combat power limit. And the game recently has been giving us combat power limits, such as being able to enter raids. You need 6k for normal mode, 5k, and then 6k for difficult mode, and then 7k for the nightmare mode that's coming. And for dimensional 4-star trials, you need also 7k for the higher tiers. So you need to hit a pretty high threshold. In this video, I'm going to be covering how I hit 7k. I did stop the game for a while, but I put in the work to try to hit 7k so I can do the nightmare raids. And in this video, I'm going to be telling you what I prioritize to be able to get that in a couple of weeks. So let's just jump into it. Now, like I mentioned, combat power doesn't completely tell the complete story of your character and how good you are or strong you are, because it all depends on your gears, all that stuff. But you want to increase your combat power as a beginner or as a hardcore player if you want to be able to enter certain things, such as if you guys look at the dimensional trial right here, you will see once you guys get above dimensional trial 10, you will need 7k combat power just to enter. Same with the raid, all that stuff. And usually when people have a party finder up, they will put like high CP here. So if you guys want to be able to enter it, you need to have high combat power. Now the basic stuff, because I know there's probably some beginners wanting to see how to increase your combat power, I'll just cover the basic stuff first, and then we'll go into the more tricky stuff. The basic stuff that you guys want to do if you're a beginner player, I've been telling this to everybody, is you want to be getting full level 12 gear, so that should be main focus. T2 epic to 12, and then trade it with anything which is cheap, because your main goal is to increase your CP so you can actually enter the raid, so you can start working on your heroic weapon. Later you can swap your traits, but just get the basic traits full traded, and then trait resonance it with if you fully trade a weapon. Let me just show you guys real quick. If you fully trade a weapon or a gear piece, you'll be able to unlock the resonance effect, which will give you CP. Same with artifacts. Getting full artifacts is the basic stuff that you should be able to do pretty quick. Leveling your skills is all the basic stuff, but this will increase your CP by a lot. Now, here's the hard part and how I leveled my CP up from, because eventually when you get full T2 epic, all that stuff, you're around 6k CP. You still need to increase your CP by a lot after doing basic stuff. So this is what I did. Now the main thing that gives insane amount of CP right now is the heroic weapons and the heroic gear. You can wear one heroic weapon and one gear piece right now. And a heroic weapon, if you guys want to compare CP, now this is not a max heroic weapon. It will still level to 12. And as you can see here, it doesn't have a full heroic trait down there. It has 2 out of 4 traits, and I think each of these traits gives like 15 CP, so I can get another 30, and with the level it will give me even more CP, so you can possibly get almost 100 plus CP from a heroic piece. Now if I compare my CP here, you will see this is a same weapon with the same runes I have inside, and you will see I lost almost 70 plus CP. So when I have it fully maxed, it will probably give me like 100 CP. So that's insane amount of combat power, and you should start leveling your weapon now. Now I did not min max it. If I were to min max it properly, what I would do is I would have a heroic weapon, and then I would have a gear piece to try to increase my CP as much as possible. Also, it would be better for my attributes, but I kind of just wanted a plus 12 weapon just to look cool, so that's why I did it. But the best way would be to get a gear piece. But this is very doable for everybody else, because if you do the heroic weapon properly, with both a weapon, get the weapon to +9 and then the gear piece like +6 or whatever, you'll be able to gain more CP if you're able to trade it out, of course. So it's a fully traded, except missing 2 heroic traits, and it's almost level 12, so that will give you almost 100 CP boost, which is really good. Now, if you don't have any heroics, this is very important. If you don't have any heroics, you have everything maxed out. Weapon mastery is 200. You have your runes maxed out, everything. You will still be below 7k. So to get to 7k plus, you actually need to get a heroic weapon or a gear piece to be able to leave that threshold and be able to hit 7k. So it's a really important thing to know is you need a heroic some type of way, either your weapon or gear piece, to go over 7k. Now, since we talked about heroic, that will give you a huge boost, and that's why I try to prioritize getting my heroic weapon up and the heroic trade up. Now, I can't afford too many except two trades down there, but there is a much better way to increase your CP. If you're not able to max completely out your weapon like I have, there's many ways to get it, which brings me to weapon mastery. Now, if you guys will look at my weapon mastery, you will see my weapon mastery is not maxed out. It's 184 actually. we're missing 16 levels on each because I didn't play for a while and it's hard for me to catch up at weapon mastery. This is very important to know. Each level of your weapon mastery gives you 3 CP. So if you're level 0 on your weapon mastery and you get to level 1, you'll get 3 CP. So once you're max, that means every 10 levels of your weapon mastery, you'll get 30. So if I'm leveling up my weapon mastery on my sword and I go from 184 to 195, I will get 30 CP. Same with here. I will get from 84 to 94, I'll get another 30 CP. So total, if I keep leveling them up, I'll be able to get 60 CP from both weapons each 10 levels, right? So in total, you can get 1200 combat power by getting your weapon mastery to 200. So if I push my weapon mastery right now, you guys can see I have 184 right here, and I have 184. If I actually max my CP out, I'll be able to get even probably like 100 more CP just from that, which is actually insane, like, because I will get like almost 45 here and then 45 plus here, so almost like 100 CP more. So I'll be able to hit 7.1k if I actually max out my mastery. So this is where a lot of players will be able to catch up and level up their combat power a lot, is the weapon mastery. I know it gets hard, especially for beginner players and new players, but getting to 200 is really good combat power wise. It will give you insane amount of levels, so that way you don't need to max out your heroics. You can actually just level up your weapon mastery and absolutely get there, which is a massive thing for me. That's what I basically grinded. I had like 80k tokens left, and with the new food, even though I wish I had a better food, of course, because I think there was a 200 exp event some months back, but getting the weapon mastery, going to B3 Crimson, and just leveling up your mastery in the open world dungeons will give you a massive boost. And then this battle pass is running out, so hopefully we get a new battle pass with weapon mastery XP so you guys can catch up. But leveling your weapon mastery is going to be one of the most important things next to heroics, to be able to level and catch up the last insane CP. That's going to require a lot. Now, aside from that, if we go away from weapon mastery, which is huge, and we go away from heroics, which is one of the most massive things to increase your combat power when you reach very high combat power, is your rune levels. Yes, so rune levels, I have cheesed it. So if I actually use my proper runes, I would lose almost 50 plus combat power. So if you're looking right here, I am, as you guys can see, I'm cheesing the combat power here, but I got level 90 runes, and getting your rune levels up is massive to be able to get combat power. Because if you remove it and you go back to the normal gear, I will lose insane amount of combat power. Now, very important is, you probably think that Chaos Rune is insanely good, but when the runes are actually level 90, guys, the rune chaos runes actually bring down your CP. So let's say I have a red 90 here, and I put a chaos rune here, max HP. Now this is obviously a really good rune for me, max HP as a tank, but this will actually make me lose combat power by 3. Yes, I know, it's crazy. So even though it is better for me stat wise to use the chaos rune, it is not good combat power wise. Now this is very important disclaimer right here. You should not have this like this to focus on your combat power, because at the end of the day, combat power is only important to enter certain things inside of the game, because the game makes you this way. But you should not have this if you're actually trying to better your character. Your character should be using those runes which are important to you, and which gives you best stats and which is best for your build. But unfortunately, the game has made it this way that you need combat power to enter certain things, which makes a lot of people swap their stuff around so they can actually enter certain teams and stuff. Because at the end of the day, you can defeat this boss from 10 or up as a 6.5k CP player, right? If you know what you're doing and you have good stats, you can do a 6.5k, even lower possibly, right? Nightmare raid is coming. You can do it probably with way less CP, right? If you look at the normal raid, heroic, the raid for normal or difficult mode, you can do it way lower than your CP if your build is good and you know what you're doing. But the game is setting this threshold, which means you have to increase your combat power. So I was able to do this. These are like my main things that I would probably push my CP on. Again, weapon master gives insane amount, but you need the heroic to be actually be able to go above 7K. Now these days, back in the day, like arc boss weapons used to give more CP and Nebula stuff gave more CP, but it doesn't. As far as I know, it doesn't anymore. I think you can possibly get more CP if you have the set bonus from the new the new I think accessories. So I'm gonna just show you guys this, so you guys are aware. If I think I have a ring here, 42 ring here. This is perfect. This is perfect as an example. Okay, look at this. I have this ring, right? This is a Fortitude, the new upgrade version of this ring. Now, this ring gives one more stat than this ring. However, the CP does not change. So this one has one trade, this one has one trade. So it's a perfect way to use an example. If you go to your enchantment here, and I will just sync it so it has the exact same level, you will see if I sync this and I sync the Fortitude one, they're exactly same level now, right? We go here. They're exactly the same level, same trade. Now, you would think that the Fortitude one, the upgrade one, actually would give me more CP, right? That's what we think. Like, it would give one more or two more CP. But if you actually put these in, you will see that I have 807 now with the normal. And if I put the Fortitude one, nothing changes. So no stat changes. I think the only time the stat actually changed, I don't know, this is not confirmed, is if you actually unlock the 442 set, which will give me heavy attack, max health, all that stuff. But if you just use the upgrade version, it actually doesn't change your CP, which is pretty crazy. So even getting the better set, the new upgrade set actually won't change anything. So you kind of have to get heroic at the end of the day. Yeah, that is like the best guide that I can give you guys. I mean, it is grinding out your runes, but with the new systems, with the new season, you should be able to get your runes up pretty fast, unless you're unlucky with certain runes. But that is the main way to increase your CP. Once you have your gear piece though, and you have your weapon, you will see insane amount of boost on your combat power. And then if you can get your weapon master to level 200 and boost that up, it's going to be the main priority. So if as a player right now, if you want to get into these certain things and you want to increase your combat power, start working your weapon mastery should be one of your main priorities, and your heroic weapon should be your second highest priority, and then the rune system should be the third priority after that, because that's the only way you'll be able to increase your CP. But that is it for this video. If you guys have questions regarding combat power or anything, you can ask in the comments below, or you can send me a message in a Discord. I know it's really hard as a beginner player to be able to catch up and get high combat power, but just focus on your main important things, which should be your heroic weapons. You guys should be doing every week. You need to be doing your weekly raids, especially the normal one, because it actually gives more materials than the difficult one. And then, yeah, if you can do the difficult one, really good. But if you're doing events, buy out the weapon mastery stuff, buy out the rune stuff, and buy out the heroic items, because it's going to increase your CP. Everything else just comes, like epic 2 gear, all that stuff will just eventually come to you. But thank you so much for watching. Make sure you guys check out this video right here. Thank you guys for all the channel members, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye bye.